Hi YouTube family, this is Iris. I garden in zone 6A. Today's date is April 2nd. The temperature is 36 degrees. As you can see, the snowdrops have dropped and these butterfly bushes are trying to awaken. We have some housekeeping that's been completed, but I'm most excited about the potential of everything, just on the cusp of readiness. So we are into spring, but we're up north as well, and it tends to stay cool a bit longer, cold rather. This is around our compost bin, and there I love that the sedum is coming back. And there has been some relocations. These are the daylilies that honestly has been my first experience with a plant that served you so well, but now it's time for them to be a blessing to someone else. So I have those guys all potted up and ready to go. I'm glad I didn't toss them, because not just that people pay good money, but it's a wonderful gift for a gardener. This poor guy just got knocked over somehow. Have to restake him. But as you can see, the butterfly bushes are awakening. This particular spot on the property has really good direct sun. So those we cut back with our last video. This was the location of the old yucca plant that will now be a duo for the Disco Bell white hibiscus. There's one on the other side of the property, but they don't wake up until late spring, early summer. Some potted plants were created because I didn't want to throw the babies away, for some standard invincible hostas. And then this guy was my braided Rosa Sharon, and just couldn't say bye, I suppose. But everything is slowly awakening. You see the potential? I see it. I see it. It's gonna be beautiful. There's been some relocation. This little arch here is going to hang with the weeping cherry tree over here. And to my surprise, the higher raised bed is waking up slightly slower than the ground level raised bed. And this area has had the opportunity to thrive, especially the crocus. I think now that there's a completed fence over here, the bunny rabbits aren't out taking full advantage of them. So we also have just some potted plants that we're just seeing if that's what we want to put, some seasonal plants in there. But right now they just have what was ever in my yard that couldn't find a home. They went into a pot. I really tried not to throw anything away. Filled in a little bit of dirt, but you know, you gotta cover that because the weeds will grow quicker than the plants you plant. But very exciting things coming up and awakening. I thought this was fun. I trimmed this juniper, blue star juniper over here down, and took the stems to fill in this pot. This pot, the inner pot, actually has some tulips. So I'm really curious if that's a late blooming tulip, just to make sure everybody's okay. The onions, wild onions and garlic, they have plans. And then the bigger feedback I wanted to provide was, remember this experiment with the winter sow and go? I ended up moving them. Some of the smaller ones were tossed about, so they're over here on the patio. out of 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 opportunities. The one that thrived was the sunflowers. They didn't mind whatever happened between the daytime and nature's watering, and they will be ready to be planted. So out of 9, I had 1 that thrived. So maybe it was still a bit cold. I'm not sure. I can double check the soil. But as we come over in this space, this is where change has happened. So we have the smoke tree, and then we have a new member to our family, a hydrangea cut off from a friend of mine, and we'll see how this young lady thrives. And then the vegetable beds were established, and we've kind of outlined this part of the bed, the garden. This is our small scale urban vegetable garden. So this is a 8-foot 28 inches, I think, and this is our 10-foot. I'll have to get the correct measurements for you guys, but it's a nice size height. So we did some hugelkultur for the bed in order to help with filling it. I didn't want to put good soil supply in the lowermost parts of the bed, so we put tree bark, branches, stumps, and the very top is the newest layer of tree bark. So I put some lime on top to help with the organic material breakdown, and then we'll see how we do this bed. I think this bed is the one I'm going to make the soil for this weekend. So these are some of my soil mix supplies. And then I wish I could tell y'all the story of exactly how the beds were created, but I really am grateful that my family entertains my desires to help beautify our space, because without them I couldn't do half of what I think, and they are very kind to me. So my husband and my son put that together. The guys put that arbor together. The leveler still on top. And then started some, not seeds, but we have asparagus for this one. And asparagus is a perennial that will come back every year and spread. So it's in a container. These are potatoes, and I have all of the containers on a a water catching cup, because I don't want them to get any of the dye wood mulch water mixed in, because we'll be eating these items. And this is another container of potatoes. Here's a blueberry shrub, and then these are some berry bushes that I got from Sam's Club. I'm a little paused that they're not doing as I expected, but this might be their normal transition into stronger branches, but I'll have a little investigative eye on them. This is where the herbs will be, and then this portion of the vegetable garden will be designated for, I don't know why I turned the camera that way, I apologize, designated for our fruit trees. The dwarf fruit trees will be coming, and we have a special little project in store for those. This is holding we've created, it's always been a bit of wind for this corner of our house, but I'm gonna do something decorative there with those pots. And these are sky pencil hollies, and they should grow up to be a nice little curtain to give the landscape a little blockage from work going on back here. But this is what ended up becoming the end of the house flower bed. I was gonna place it out here for where they will be in the future, but I was vetoed by my husband, and like I said, they really afford me a great deal of liberty, so I had to comply. He asked that they be placed back up on the bed because out in the middle of the grass it'll just get trampled over, and he likes a bit of greenery. So I am very curious how all of these plants are going to awaken. Now, as you can see on this side where the trees are going to go, that we did that no-dig garden method where you put the cardboard down, then you put your mulch down, and then you wet it and let it kill off the grass, and it's very eco-friendly. You don't disturb the soil. You have less chance to spread the seeds of weeds. But because I removed all the plants that were along the perimeter of this section from the fence line to the gate all the way back up the side of the house, all those plants were dug out. So some of the soil was disturbed, but all of this soil was disturbed. So I anticipate a bit of a battle with some weedage, but it will be well worth it because the plants that were along the house line of the house, we really didn't get to enjoy as much. Now, before the fence, it was nice for curb appeal because when you drove past the house, you could see what was in bloom, and it's full and green and lush. But now that they'll be part of the main landscape, we'll have some nice green foliage going along the entire width of the house. So wherever we are in the backyard, we'll be able to enjoy it. I think the biggest thing that stood out before I let you all go in a quick walk toward the front is these plants were often just multiplied and placed somewhere, not often considering where we could enjoy it most. And it was very invigorating to kind of think out what would be enjoyable to see as they grow in. So I'm really hoping that everyone receives their relocation well and creates a nice ambiance for us when we're in the backyard. I did end up moving the hydrangea from this area, and this is now where the garbage can will be stored. And then this right here is our macrophylla hydrangea hedge. I'm still wavering with the thought of what to do with this hose box, only because we're going to do a drip irrigation system for the garden beds. So I have to see how that plays out, if it'll get replaced or if we won't need to worry about that. And then these guys, again, the shaded side, still rather sleek. We have some, I was gonna say dahlias. See what's on my mind? We have some Easter flowers coming in, and it's not daisy, I can't recall, but the tulips, the crocus. It's the yellow standard flower. If you could think of what that flower is, I'm thinking of, comes up first amongst everything else for Easter with the crocus and the tulips. Let me know. It's escaping me right now. But coming back over into this corner, just gonna see what the future is for this water barrel. Wanted to place it somewhere it could be used, and these are one of the surplus stumps. That's not going to stay there because I do have some color that'll be coming in here and we want to enjoy it. And then this is the last bit of the landscape, and this black lace elderberry is just blooming with potential. I thought she was so mad at me from being moved like out of season, but believe it or not, these little feathery, like it looks like they're dried leaves on there, but that's what her foliage looks like, and it is so beautiful. So I will leave you on that note. I hope you all have a wonderful Resurrection Day holiday weekend and enjoy time with loved ones and spend your mind on the things that give you joy and appreciate them. Oh, look, there's a tulip right there. Some of the tulips are coming through with the lamb's ears. I gotta be careful where I step because I don't want to hurt anybody in this little corner. I might have to do something over here. See these guys? They're poking their heads through. So enjoy the weekend, guys. Thanks for participating in my garden excitement. Tell me what you're excited about, especially if you're up north and there's not a lot of preemptive stuff we can do, but we can prepare. All we could do is prep right now. So have a wonderful holiday weekend. Appreciate you guys. Bye-bye.